welcome to the series of podcast. Time that'll be in public domain, public interest. The topic today is startup scenes in India.
So, talking about the hiring process in startups in India, how difficult is it to attract skilled manpower as well as match the salaries that are being drawn in larger companies?
Okay, so I'll just take a reference of a bigger company like Google. Recently, Larry Page was interviewed on this very question, and he was able to tell when they were able to start up, the only reason they were able to hire extraordinary talent was the fact that they were solving a very hard problem. So his idea was, if you're solving a very hard problem, very smart people would want to come and work on that product or service because they'll see the upside, and if the product is great, a lot of people will see the upside, so they will work for, let's say, below market wage rate. So if you're trying to solve a hard problem, you have a much better chance of hiring people and starting a company as opposed to solving a, let's say, not so hard problem.
So what happens when there are companies like small companies that solve smaller problems? They're not technically a strong product,
Okay,
and they solve small problems.
no problem is a small problem as long as it has a significant upside to it, meaning there is a consumer base that will be willing to pay a price
Right.
for availing this service or product over a period of time. So if you have prospective audience of 50,000 or 100,000, that's a good business,
Yeah.
regardless of how small the problem is. So no problem is really that small as long as you can generate cash flow positive balance sheet at the end of the year. I mean, you're good
And
to
how
go.
would they go about hiring technically skilled labor?
It's a hard issue. I mean, I'm assuming most people build their companies around who the founder is and who the founding team is.
Right.
And most people would want to come and work because the founder has a vision to actually take this company to profitability.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, nobody would come and work. The company would
Right.
not even get started, let alone be in existence.
Yeah. So do you think investors sometimes don't have the vision to see if a company is solving a really major problem?
That is not the case. I mean, usually it so happens the good benchmark for this is to go and talk to about 100 investors, and if all of them reject you, something's wrong with you, not them. So there are these investors are very smart with money. That's why they're in the venture capital industry. So if they think the viability is questionable, 100 people reject it, then I think somewhere along the way, either you communicated in a manner that is not befitting their frame of the world, or there is something wrong with the product. It's never the case that 100 people will reject the product outright if it is a stellar product. If there are 50-50 products, those are questionable. Depends on team, depends on who's leading it.
Yeah.
Very good products can be taken straight to the ground if the founding team is crazy. So
Yeah.
they don't like crazy people.
Do you think that the startup scenes right now is more like the internet bubble of 2000?
And the internet bubble of 2000 was a finance issue wherein there was a lot of malinvestment in companies because there were no real metrics as to how to value these kinds of companies.
Right.
Since we have the benefit of hindsight and we know what happened in 2000,
Yeah.
people are much more cautious as to not to value companies by themselves rather than trusting people who are behind them, as a result of which they might feel confident that these people will deliver as opposed to products themselves.
But companies still are being overvaluated.
Which company is overvalued?
I mean,
See, a lot of companies get their valuation based on future earnings.
Yeah.
Good example is Theranos. It was valued at 4 billion. It went bankrupt all in one day because the Food and Drug Administration of US rejected their core product. So these things happen, but overall, I think valuations are always overvalued, and it's for the company and the executive team to, over a period of time, justify that value.
Right.
Overvaluation is not a phenomenon which is specific to startups. I mean, regular companies are overvalued too. Apple, many people feel, is overvalued.
Right.
A lot of other companies are overvalued. It's just the team is stellar, they have a great product, the strategy is great, they just feel like they have priced in the future earnings to the present day. That's about it. That's what overvaluation is. If you overvalue the company, you've already priced in the future growth into the current price. That's what it means.
But considering the fact that 99% of startups these days fail,
I don't know. I don't believe that number. I don't know where people quote that number from,
but okay, I'm sure it's more than 90% of startups.
I mean, I don't know that number.
Yeah.
I totally
Okay.
dispute that. I mean, if it were to be true, then I should feel really confident because this company has literally survived 20 months of existence.
Right.
But should I pat myself on the back saying that I've done a great job? No. I mean, these statistics are not really that valid. We should focus on the goal that we have, what we are giving up to do this.
Yeah.
Then it makes better sense.
but
Assuming
it's
that to
true.
be true, what's the question?
It kind of gives a sense that companies are being overvalued.
How did you come from 99% of the startups failing to companies are overvalued? Where is the
No, they're being funded way too much, and yet they fail. They're not kind of reaching that expectations. Like they're valued at say 5 crores, but they're failing instead, rather than
failing as in bankruptcy?
bankruptcy or
There hasn't been a major bankruptcy of a startup company in India.
Okay.
The values go up and down.
yeah.
Because of various reasons, but there hasn't been a massive failure of sorts yet.
So what would you consider a failure in this case?
Bankruptcy. Yeah, that's a wrap from us. This topic was about startups in India. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Do come back and listen to our podcast.